So the VIX is down today with 1.42%, but it's still trading above $30. It's trading currently at $30.61 as of market close after 4 o'clock. What does this mean for the overall market? Let's go to SPY. Let's look at technicals indicators and chart reading. Let's break it down. So first thing first, what we had today was in the morning was chopped down all the way from about 640 to 634. Now, I don't really like playing the first 15 minutes of the market because you don't know where it's going to be directing because there's no chart reading telling you where it's going to be indicated or not. But now in this market trend, of course, everybody knows that it's a very bearish market trend and everything's going to go down. So we had a nice pullback down here if you bought puts over here. But again, this is not a good play to do, in my opinion, in a normal market session. And then we moved forward. We had a bit chop, but then we created a nice double tap here, one loop and two loop right over here. Let's make over here a line. Perfect. Right over here, horizontal line. Right over here. Perfect. Just like this. Here's the high point of it, of your first loop, and then the second loop came bouncing a bit off. And then we had nice entry over here, just like I explained in my other videos how do I do it. You can always go back and watch it. And then what happened? We just chopped all the way down, 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 all the way down to 629. Now, why did we reach 629? And I knew we were going to reach 629 because if you're going to look over here, this is 629. This was at about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock on Sunday night. Was the lowest point. Now I knew it's going to have to reach the lowest point. Why was it going to why does it have to reach the lowest point? That's because whenever the market has a massive downtrend and it reaches a bottom during after hours or overnight trading, this is overnight and pre-market, right? So you always have to look at the lowest point, and that's the indicator that's going to tell you around where it's going to be trading at. But not only did I know that it's going to go to 629 because of overnight trading, but if you're going to make a trend line, like I told you the other videos, from the double tap where it was created all the way down, you saw until about 345, you were perfect. Let's make it a bit more even. Perfect, right over here. So let's analyze this. This is the 1 minute chart, right? So we have over here, right over here. This is where our loop finished. Double tap, right? Here, this is where we're coming all the way down, right? So we know to enter puts over here, and then you could have still held all the way puts all the way down till 629 and really cash in. You could have bought OTM contracts or at the money contracts at about 638, and then you could have sold it by 629. You could have made a killing. Look, everything is perfectly aligned. Everything is under the trend line, under the trend line, under the trend line, under the trend line. Oops, sorry, let's just move it back under the trend line, just like that, and that's over there. Now, next, let's go to Tesla. Same thing with Tesla. Let's look at the 1 minute chart. Smash, boom, down all the way. So Tesla was a bit different in the morning, and this is the reason why I don't like playing the first 15 minutes. Look at this. We had a nice green candle, bullish candle, and then we came all the way crashing down. Now, this sometimes does happen where this means whenever you see a huge green candle, bullish candle going up, like the first minute or second minute where the market is open, or let's put it the first 5 minutes when the market open, then we're going to come all the way crashing down as well. So this is where you could have made a trade. But again, it's not safe to play unless if you're a real professional trader. And then we had a small double tap over here. And then we came, if you make it a bit closer over here, then we have another big, huge double tap here. Is way clearer. Look, like right over here. First loop, second loop, up, down, and then if you would have made a trend line all the way, let's zoom it out. Let's make a trend line right over here. Perfect. Just like this. And then you could have purchased your puts all the way down just like that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Absolutely crazy, crazy day today. Let's look at the VIX again to analyze. So again, the highest point for today was 31.52. It was like right before market close, like a half hour before. We will be seeing the VIX spiking up again to about 35 if things just don't settle down. That's the worst case scenario, or the second case scenario is going to be, which is going to be pretty good for us, and I'll explain why. We're going to be heading down. The reason why I believe it's going to head down more than heading up is because people started realizing that this is the market. This is how the market is. This is the trend. This is just how it's going to go. We cannot trust the government anymore because they're lying in our teeth. We have to look at everybody's news. You have to look at Israeli news, the Iranian news, and the American news, the whole political sector, to tell us exactly what is going to happen in the future. Now, because whatever Trump said, he was just lying through his teeth. He said, oh, we're negotiating. We're not negotiating. We'll have a deal. Or if they want to make a peace deal, they want it. They don't want to. But at the same time, Iran comes out and says, excuse me, I never said that. I want to still fight. And we're still getting the Hormuz still closed up. And good luck trying to capture the island. You can make a whole stage and take up our army and everything. and just like that. So you have to just look at the political news as well. And if you're looking at SPX, the S&P 500 index, we have the same exact chart where we came crashing down, and then we have a double tap, and then you could have made also your trend line down all the way here. Perfect, very nice. Let's look at the daily to see what our expected moves are. So I made over here quite a few lines because you never know what's going to happen. Once we break, we make supports and resistance levels. Once we crack the support and resistance, we go to the next one. That's how it works. So we just cracked this one over here. So this was the first one that we literally cracked it on Friday. This is the daily chart, right? You see over here, the second candle right over here where my mouse is, right over here. And we cracked that on Friday so that we knew we were going to crack it today, but I kept it on the chart. So this is technically garbage. The next floor is to reach right over here on this one. The reason why, okay, so this number is 6209, $6,209.94, the exact number. The reason why is because look at this candle. This is the sticking out over here, and from here, we're taking it from here. So you have to analyze the full chart, and that's where we get our picture. This is for the overall for the SPX next floor. And then we have for SPY, the next floor will be $618 right over here. So it's trading now at about 631, and the target is $618. Can we make it there? Very possible. I'm not telling you guys if we can or we can't. It's very, very, very possible. To reach there again, this is not financial advice or anything. I'm just trying to teach you guys how to trade it by your own in the market and how to capture perfect entries and exits. Next, the reason why also, let's go back, or in SPY, let's go back to the 1 minute chart. The reason why we also got slammed down today as well, where look, you see we have here a double tap, but then after that, there's no trend. There's no trend. The only thing you were able to do was make a trend line, and then we know we're going to be chopping all the way down, and that's the only reason why. And just like I told you guys, let's recap where we had overnight trading to 629. But we had another reason why is because the 1 hour chart got really slammed, absolutely slammed. We were looking at the RSI and the MACD, really got slammed. So if you're looking at the RSI, we hit, it was below 20. Which is oversold. I mean, oversold is ready from below 30, but when it's below 20, you don't want to mess up with anything. You know for sure we're going to go down. And Friday, we had the 10-minute chart that was below 20. Today, we had also a little chop of a below 20 right over here. We had 14. Actually, when it came down to around by this number, 631 to 629, we're below 20 as well. But again, of course, the most accurate chart to read everything is for your 1 minute chart, and then following the 5 minute chart, going back and forth. But of course, I really love using the 1 minute chart because it gives you the best entries and exits and is the most, literally 90% more accurate than every single other chart. But for looking if you don't know what's going to happen in the futures market, especially in this kind of market trend, we're going to have to be going to the 1 hour chart, 15-minute chart, 10-minute chart as well to tell us what is going to be. Now, somebody commented, wants to know why I have these three indicators: the volume, RSI, and the MACD. So I already made a video on RSI and MACD, and I will be creating my next video as well. I'm making a separate thing because I don't want to mix up, for the daily analysis and for the trends, why I use these kind of indicators. And of course, I used to use the MA10 with the MA50 and VWAP, but right now they're switched off because it doesn't work in this market trend. I'll be explaining everything in the next video, so please like, share, subscribe. Let's get this channel up and running to like the whole town should know about this because everything's for free. We're not charging you guys. There's no Discord. There's no nothing. Everything's 100% free. Write in the comments below if you want to learn anything. It's a pleasure. I would teach you anything. Just let me know. Thank you.